Alright, so shaker designs have been kind of all the rage lately, so we're going to make a mini Moondance with little rhinestones and bats and stuff in it. So, alright, first I cut out all the pattern pieces for the Memo Pad size. I measured here 3/4 of an inch from the top, from on the back, from the left side, and from the bottom. And then I measured and found the middle, and I measured 1 inch over from that. And then I cut that center portion out, and that's what will become our little shaker window. All of the vinyl that I'm using today I got from moremino.com, and these little shaker gem things I got from Happy Kawaii Supplies. The tags I got from Heartwood and Hide. They're custom, and they're freaking awesome. So we're going to start out with some double-sided tape. I believe this double-sided tape is from Weft and Warp Co. And I'm just going to go right around the cutout. I know that some people complain about double-sided tape gumming up their needles, and I feel like I can usually just scrape that off and it doesn't affect my sewing, so I sew through it all the time. I know that some people don't. So if you don't want to, you might want to place this somewhere that you're not going to sew through it. You're definitely going to want tape for this. So just all the way around. I have a clear glitter vinyl, also from Moremino, that we're going to use for the window. She also has clear, like plain clear with no glitter in it, TPU. But then just recently I think she released quite a few different clear ones that have like star glitter or star sprinkles or something in it. I got one I think that just has dots. I just ordered it yesterday, so. Okay, the window portion that I cut out, I cut it to be 1/4 inch bigger on all sides than the hole that's cut in the main panel. So when it's 1/4 inch past each side, and I'm just going to stick that down to the tape really well. And my backing is this. So I'm going to prepare it first. I think I might stick the tape onto this portion, and I'm just going to stick it all the way around the clear. And you can place it actually right up against the edge if you want, like over top where the other tape was, so that you have an area that you could sew through if you don't want to sew through your tape. Alright, I'm going to pull the paper off before I put the glitter stuff in. Normally, or I guess the last shaker thing I did was the Could I Be Any Clearer stadium bag. I added a shaker pocket to the front of it. When I did that, I added the glitter. I sewed it part way and then kind of added the glitter after. So I think here I'm going to stick this on like halfway. I'm just trying to line it up with the clear. And this is cut to the same size that the clear is, so 1/4 inch bigger than the cutout in the front, all the way around. And we're going to top stitch around that part with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, so just make sure that you're extending more than 1/8 of an inch on all sides. Okay. So this glitter does have like some, well, we're going to call this more like a confetti It's got like some bigger pearly type things in it, and I don't want those in this specific project, so not the bigger ones anyway. I'm just going to kind of pick those out, and they're going to roll everywhere. This is probably not the smartest idea. I think a little funnel would be good for this. It'd be easier to dump it straight out of the bag, so I'm just going to lay it like right in the center. Alright, I do want a little bit more than that. There, I'm going to kind of, that's not going to work. Alright, let me just get a little more out, and I'll pick those larger beads out of there again. And I'll definitely use those like in a shaker bag or something, just not this, because it is kind of, it's flat. All right, so I'm going to stick that down and then kind of distribute my filling here. And then I'm going to flip it back over so it's nice and flat, and lay this vinyl down again so that it's not distorted so much. All right, I think that will do. Do I want to put anything else in there, or is that enough? I think those beads are just a bad idea. All right, sorry, I'm taking the small beads out too. So this needs to be flat objects. All right, I think that'll work better. I do have some Memo Pad glitter that I'm thinking right now I might want to put in there. All right, that's much better. Let's go ahead and add some of that glitter too. All right, here's the So Whatever Original Glitter Mix. I don't know if this is, it is sealed. So this is So Whatever Sparkles, and it's like glitter with bats in it. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of that in there. I think that's plenty of stuff. Take my vinyl back down. Trying really hard not to make a mess here. We can redistribute that after I sew it. I might have put too much in. What do you think? There's no such thing as too much, right? Maybe there is. I like it. I don't care. All right, so I'm going to sew around the cutout using a 1/8 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to start at a corner, I guess, and I'm not going to back stitch. I'm going to pull the threads to the back and then tie them off. I'm using fairy floss thread from Wizardry. So this is kind of Halloween, kind of pastel also. So like a pastel Halloween. Pastel goth, that's a thing, right? about to make a mess and open this up and take a little bit of stuff out, I think. I feel like I've got too much in there. Alright, I think if I'm going to do it, I got to do it now, so. Alright, let's hope this isn't too messy. Oh boy. I'm going to be covered in glitter all day now. And I did such a good job not making a mess when I put it in. Alright, let's move that stuff back in. I think it'll be okay to sew through those chunky glitters. As long as I'm not sewing through any like rhinestones. Oh, I'm definitely going to be glittery though, forever now. So don't overfill. You want to be able to see what you put in there. I just got too excited. Okay. Finish sewing this and then I'll like redistribute my glitters. And you want to come as close as possible to stopping in the same hole that you started in, so it's easy to see if you lift up your presser foot. And then I'm leaving my threads long so that I can flip this over. When I pull it to the back, the threads that are on the back, I'll just kind of gently tug on those and it will pull up the loops from the front. And if you are very successful making it back in the same hole, then it can be a little bit difficult to pull the threads through because you sewed through them. But okay. And then I'm just going to tie this in a knot. I like to tie a square knot. And then I'll trim the ends off and use a lighter to singe it. And that just kind of melts the knot together and keeps it permanent. Don't forget to close your glitters back up. Alright, I think that's cute. There's still a lot in there, but it's cute, right? Maybe it's too much. I don't know. I like it. Alright, now let's see. What's next? We are going to... Okay, so this is my front panel, and since I have all of this going on the inside cover, the Decoville Heavy is not being interfaced to that. So I adhered it to the inside piece instead, and it goes all the way up to the edge that's on the inside and then 1/4 of an inch away from the other sides. So when I place it down, the Decoville will still be in the same placement that it normally would be. So I'm going to attach my tag to this, and I'm gonna like eyeball everything. Alright, so I'm just putting a little bit of double-sided tape on the back of one of my labels. And then place it on the pocket wherever I want it. So I just kind of eyeball that it's like an equal distance away from the sides and the bottom. Nothing specific. And then I'm going to sew that in place. All right, and then we'll attach this onto the inside. We want to make sure that the edges that are away from the interfacing are to the left, the bottom, and the top when we put this on top of it. And I'm just going to use some of my 1/8 inch double-sided tape along the bottom edge, the short side edge, and the back edge. All right, and then I think there definitely are in the pattern, like measurements for where to place this pocket. I'm gonna eyeball it. All right, and then we're going to sew from here around the bottom and up the back. All right, so we've got that part situated. Now we're going to place everything. For my back panel, I have placed the Decoville Heavy stabilizer piece 1/4 inch from the top edge, and then I just measured down to the center of the Decoville Heavy, and that's where I placed the marks to punch the holes and cut the line. Those are both 1/4 inch in from each side, and I believe this is 3/4 inch down from the top. So let's see, first this goes in the center. I'm going to use this thicker tape here, but you don't want to use that on the back when you put it in, because you need to have room for the notebook to slide down inside. This should be centered, which I'm also going to eyeball. I have that center line there, so just kind of, that's not centered at all. Okay, that looks okay. For the back, I'm going to use my 1/8 inch tape so that the majority of the back of this is open and you have room to slide your notebook inside. Do you know, when I make videos like after the fact, so often I don't even relook at my pattern, and I cannot remember all the directions for all my patterns. So if anything that I'm doing here is different than my pattern, it's just because I honestly didn't look at it first. Okay, we'll stick this on right there, and I'm just lining up the edges. This is also a good time to look from the right side to make sure that nothing's like not lined up and sticking out weird, like my centerpiece is. So I'll probably trim that a little bit. All right, and then the front, I'm just gonna go for it with this because it doesn't matter. The front portion isn't going to, like, it doesn't need to be open for the back of the notebook to slide in. All right, now this is your call. I think I have in the pattern to sew it from the inside. And you know what? I'm just going to do that. So hopefully my bobbin stitches come out looking okay. Do I want to do this? I'm gonna. All right, I'm just going to start down here at the bottom of the back. And this is using a 1/8 inch seam allowance. I'm just gonna go for it. I got my new seam guide tape on from Sewful Therapy. Which is super helpful to make sure I stick with my 1/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. So here's what I didn't do like I do in the pattern, because I start like down here and then kind of sew around this part. So we're gonna have to sew those lines separately because I don't follow my patterns. And my bobbin thread looks fine. It's fine. I love how this unicorn, or no, what is this one? Fairy floss. I love how it looks different on the different fabrics. Like on that light purple color, it's just such a pastel vibe, and then inside, I mean, it just kind of blends with whatever you put it on. I love that. All right, so I think I'm just going to, I'm only gonna sew here down the 2 lines. So I want to start like along the stitch line of those stitches there, so it starts and stops at the same point. And one more line. All right, trim my threads, and that's it. Like literally that's it. It's done. Let me get my notepad and I'll show you how they fit. All right, so these are 3" by 5" memo pads from Amazon, but also the ones with the spiral at the top will fit in here that you can buy at Walmart or wherever, an office supply store. And if at first your vinyl is too thick to allow this to close properly, if you just like sit something heavy on it for a little while, then it will crease it and it will stay closed. You can also add like a closure, a snap or something. So there we have it, a shaker cover Moondance Notepad holder that I overfilled, but I like it anyway. So you could put like little flat things in there. Yeah.